Awesome. So, hey everyone, I'm Kim Jones, and I am going to talk a little bit about where to find some inspiration. I know some of you had posted some questions about, struggling over where to go with show concepts. How do you dive into, what makes your show go from year to year? I would like to, just kind of kick it off saying, you don't have to be the same year after year. In fact, your students and everybody else would probably love a variety, yourself included as an instructor, to just kind of be able to dip your toe into different genres, different show themes, things of that sort. So some of my top things, which, might seem like it's very much a given, right? But do you have music that speaks to you and your students, right? That it could be more than just, I know we like to say it's just flags in a gym, right? Or it's just drums drumming in a gym, right? But the reality of that is we spend a lot of time, I would like to say tears, sweat, time, lots of time, right? Like given to this activity. So it does mean more to you and to your students than just flags in a gym. So is there, a piece of music that you've heard the kids talking about, or something that really resonates within yourself that you would like to see come to fruition? That might be a place for you to start. I would also say, don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone, right? Explore, research, let new ideas challenge you and your kids. Sometimes that produces the best production that you've ever done. I've found personally, like in the past, when I've sat at this stage of a season questioning, right? Like, this isn't really me. This is not something, can I really make this happen? Sometimes just allowing yourself to dive into that becomes a lot of fun for both you and your students that you're teaching. In that same deep dive with colleagues, call a friend, phone a friend. We say that all the time, phone a friend, right? Have these conversations. Hey, I'm thinking about this. What do you think about that? And again, as a plug, Guard Closet Resources, there's a million different people that you can reach out to just through this avenue. If you've got questions, if you are looking for some help in any of that, don't be afraid to reach out. Your friends, phone a friend. We're your friends, right? Give us a call. And more of what Nicole had already said, build up what you already have, right? Did you use some uniforms that for an outdoor season that's still in your closet that could work for any theme that you have, going in your head, flags, floor, etc. Don't be afraid to reuse things that you've used in the past. That's 100% a-okay. And then just, like I said, other things that speak to you, period pieces, movies, soundtracks, events you feel strongly about, including any books or poems. Don't be afraid to add that spoken word. Go ahead, Nicole. I see your hand up.
And I was just going to say, when you do these things, though, make sure this is something that your guard can sustain.
Yeah.
And also, when just to think about like voiceovers, can your show still hold its own without those voiceovers on it? So if you're doing it, great, but can it go without it?
Yes, absolutely. And I think we've talked about that, right? Keeping it to what your students are able to handle. You're not putting together your dream performance or that dream soundtrack, right? If you've chosen that grand symphony, right, that's got all those musical layers and everything else, can you support that with the kids and your students that you have in front of you? An easy way to try and pick that up, if you say, hey, like if I don't pick music that has all of this layering, it's just so boring, right? So there's easy ways to layer your moments as well, even with a novice team, right? Just like some are on the ground, some are standing, some are facing front, some are facing back. You can do so many things, even with the lower level students, that can play off of some of those musical nuances that are happening Again, if you're not quite sure like where to go in that avenue, phone a friend, right? Like we are here for you to help you through any of those moments, right? Go ahead, Nicole.
Also, sorry, I just got used to raising my hand in the thing. We also, I mean, if you can do it, but we also offer at Design Closet like help on editing music, drill. Like we have drill writers, we have music editors, we have choreographers. So those things can be, gotten here at Guard Closet as well.
And I would say to include that with Nicole, that you all can think of this as ad hoc also, right? If you need somebody to just write the rifle book, you need somebody to just write the 5 big flag moments, right? The ensemble moments. Sometimes writing the 64 count build to the flag ensemble into the flag ensemble is like the most stressful thing there could ever be, but there are experts that can do that. And I always use the analogy, you all can cut your own hair, maybe? No. You go to the salon, you have somebody cut your hair. You can maybe replicate it a little bit in the styling the next day in the mirror, but it's never going to be exactly the way that the person who is trained to do it does it. So what we're saying is use your resources, use your knowledge, but also know your limitations and where it can be added value. Big phrases, long phrases, the whole thing, right? It kind of can work any of the ways. Sorry, Kim. You.
Nope, that's okay. I want to piggyback on what Jeremy just said too. Like when you're looking at ad hoc, right? Say, because I was reading some of the comments that some of you had put in. I haven't spun in a long time. How do I get back to where I was when I did spin? This, that, the other thing. Say you're looking to learn those 45 tosses, you as an instructor or your kids, right? You're trying to get them to grow. Say, hey, I just need somebody to come in and work some different tosses with my kids. Or, hey, I need somebody to come in and do like a equipment body. Can somebody just give us 64 counts that like my kids can really work on so they can understand what that equipment and body mix should look like? It's been a while since I've written. That's what everybody's here for. And so that definitely is when I say, hey, phone a friend. Let's do it. Like that's what I love to do. Like, let's just get everybody where you want to be. If you feel like you're missing, like I said, tosses or any body, across the floors. I've got this new team and we're trying to grow, but what kind of across the floors can I do to take them to that next level, or dance moves or any of that kind of stuff? There's plenty of people that are sitting on this call and also that are outside resources that we can work with to help get you where you're trying to go. All right. So I think we're kind of done. Like defining your wow moment to me is just like, what is that? Where do you want to take your season? What are you looking at? It can be very small, minute, but plan that, right? Like my season, this is where I want to take my kids, or as a staff member, this is where I'm looking to grow as well. I think some of the people put some stuff in when we were asking questions about what you're wanting to get from this. It was kind of that as well. Like, how can I grow as a teacher, right? Like as a staff member to take my kids to the next level. It seemed like some of us were there just trying to look how to better yourselves. That's what we're here for too. Like if that is something, we would gladly put a clinic together. I know we kind of live all over the place, so maybe it's a virtual clinic, right? Where we break down those tosses and put it out there. I don't know. Give us your feedback. That's what we're here for, right? Just start dialoguing and see what everybody needs. So awesome. All right, Joey, I don't know if you want to take some of this, just since from the drill aspect, because I know a lot of people, it was kind of like drill ideas, smart choice design. It seemed like some people really had transitional needs when drill things are happening that they weren't really understanding as well. So I don't know if you want to jump into some of that.
Well, I think when it comes to transitions, so like all the what we do as drill writers and what we do as show designers in this idiom is really using the Gestalt principles of design. And so it's like a vertical line, a horizontal line, a diagonal, a circle, a square, a triangle. And a very smart man, he continues to say that he's not smart, but he's somebody that I aspire to design like. Wes Pendergrass once told me that you're only two design elements away from getting a kid wherever you want them. And something pretty consistent that I do to get kids where I want them to go is I'll put them in a horizontal line, which is pretty easy to get them to, and then I'll open it up into a circle. And now you've kind of anybody can end up being in the middle. Anybody can start taking up that space, and it's a really easy way to get people in. I'd say that if you're having troubles with transitions, we are probably not thinking far enough in advance. When I write movement one, I'm just talking about like fall marching band, but when I write movement one, I need to know how movement two ends before I can write movement one. I need to get the right kids in the right place. Otherwise, it's a big jumble, big transitional mess like we see on Saturdays, right? And then all of a sudden, part two starts, right? There's tons of planning that goes into place for these big BOA groups and the groups that win your state championships and the groups that win your Saturday night contests. And it's the planning. I try not to talk about budget too much because I feel like excellence is the greatest effect. And when you have drill that just seamlessly puts you in the right place, it makes it pretty easy to achieve. But to talk about like smart design choices, I'll start going down this list. And Kim, you just let me know. I know number 2 is pretty big, and we've talked about it already. But that's like for transitions. I'd like to think: have I thought far enough ahead? And if I've written myself into a corner a little bit, it happens all the time. It happens every day. I just know that I'm 2 elements away from getting the student in the right spot. So study those Gestalt principles and start utilizing them. And like it's almost like a check mark. Like I have to have a diagonal, I have to have a horizontal, I have to have a block, a window block. And then it's like I check those boxes, and then I can use the other ones to kind of filter me through. But smart design choices: choose music with visual possibility. Can you hear the flag feature? Why are we using it if there's no, like, oh, maybe I'm just using a section of this. Cool. So what's going to go to get me to this big build? How does it end? Clear phrasing and emotional shifts. There's going to be at least 3 visual impact points. I kind of subscribe to that list, as well as like, if I don't have, here's this moment, this moment, this moment, the soundtrack's not for me, and we're moving on. Kim?
Yeah, I would just say designing around your student strengths. Everyone's kind of touched on that throughout the slide presentation so far. So feature your strong spinners. You can have multiple visual things happening. You just have to figure out how you're going to connect them. Much like Nicole said, you don't want to have one thing happening over here and then something that is just completely random going over. Like just making sure that when you are featuring those dancers or spinners or whatever they're doing, right? That can be the focus, but what is your sub focus happening, right? To all tie it all together. Just really take a look at that. And then, like I said, I know a lot of questions were, I've got a wide variety and range of performers within my group. How can you sustain that? I think you kind of go for the middle of the road, right? You're going to have to upsell some of your weaker performers and kind of do that balance throughout the full ensemble. But make sure you have those moments where you're really pushing the middle of those performer levels up. You'll be surprised that the kids will step up. They really will. They may struggle. Again, have real expectations like Nicole talked through. Don't expect those younger performers to get it on day one like your stronger performers probably will. But I promise you, they will get there. Take the time. If it's a toss that they're not, struggling with, make sure you're working it every practice during that, warm-up time when you're doing basics. When you're throwing those tosses, throw some of the harder stuff at them. Like you will be surprised. Those newer kids, they will step up to the to the bat. They might not be as strong, of course, by the end, but they will get there, right? Like I think it was Nicole talked about it, right? You're writing for those sophomores, freshmen, where are they going to go over the next 2 years? And then just be smart about some of like the drill design moments. If you've got props, don't be afraid. Everyone doesn't have to be on the floor the whole time, be smart about that, right? Like it's okay to give them a break. Like if a minute and a half has come and they are maxed out and can't handle anymore, then it's okay for them to go take a little breather and keep the core kids on the floor. Go ahead, Nicole.
I just wanted to say too, it is okay to ask for help too. I think Joey already said that, like, I put myself in a corner, but I think as new or by yourself or, I have a small guard, some people, because I came from that was the beginning of my color guard journey. I had a small guard. I was the only one. And also too, the resources back then are not the way resources are now. So there are a lot of places that you can reach out to, not to mention not just us, but I think every circuit has an educational department or a educational liaison. Utilize those people. They're not just there to, conduct a class and, sit down with you and tell you wrong, not to do that kind of thing, but also they're a sounding board for you as well. So those resources are within your circuit if you choose to use them.
I just want to add on this smart design choices, something that I require all of my staff to do when it comes time to choreograph or to design or to implement things into the show is when we put it in, we're going to take a video of it and we're going to watch it on mute. We're going to watch every Saturday show on mute. And if we can see the music, then we're on the right place. A phrase that a lot of judges use is, do I hear what I see and do I see what I hear? And that's really the biggest issues that we see in some show design stuff is, oh, it's really cool work, but is it musical? Does it highlight the music, or is it detracting us or pulling our focus away from the real musical story? So watch your stuff on mute, and then I like to listen to the soundtrack and see, can I envision the choreography and does it hit these musical things that I'm hearing? Also listening in different, like listen in your car, listen in your AirPods, listen on your computer, because you might hear something new that you didn't know existed that's going to exist in the gym. You want to hit that ding. You want to hit that cymbal crash. You want to hit that, so listen to your music as much as you can and watch your shows on mute.